based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans action for Split 2 of Season 24. Round 2 this evening out at Road Atlanta. We go racing for the second time this season. The second opportunity for drivers to take home a race win on their run towards championship glory come season's end. Commentating tonight, Hamish Munro, joined as always by the great Brett Fisher alongside, as we're live on both the V8 Vets and the Infinity Broadcasting channels right here on YouTube. Brett, we're in for a cracking race tonight, a race in which was originally going to be 200 kilometres, but then iRacing maintenance dictated us to do 50 less. They obviously just decided.
Damn, racing.
Yeah, it appears that maybe. So I like to live in the world of iRacing sent us enough tyre sets and enough fuel to only do 150, and there isn't enough to do 200. So they're limiting us as the FIA here this evening. But regardless, Brett, we should be in for a rip snorter of a race, and one which could determine early championship contendership for some of these drivers here this evening.
We're like you said, Hamish. We're in for a cracker. Maybe with cracker with some cheese. Just a casual evening of racing here. You know, not the full hamburger as we would normally have. We just got the cracker and cheese tonight. But looking forward to tonight. It's a tough track. It's a very, very tough track, and it should be some good racing out there tonight.
Well, maybe possibly a cracker with cheese, some dip, or maybe even some pork sausage on that charcuterie board of racing we have on offer here this evening. And the reason I specifically said pork sausage is, well, tonight we're out at Road Atlanta, a track circuit which I've mentioned quite a few times. The layout looks a little bit pork choppish to me. I don't know,
it definitely does.
Yeah, it's got that sort of look about it. We come into tonight's race through with Trent Allen leading the championship at the moment for AITT Revolution E-Racing. Of course, took his first race win of the season last week in round one. A strong performance tonight could see him continue to hold on to that championship lead and that illustrious orange number next to his name. We'll have a quick look, though, at tonight's circuit to give you the rundown of it. Of course, this track, mostly well known for sports car racing, including the Modal Petit Le Mans in the IMSA series. It's a fantastic event. It's a fantastic race circuit, not too far away from Atlanta here in Georgia, right near the capital of Atlanta itself, the city, here in, I think it's Brusselston is the exact town name where Road Atlanta is. But as we traverse our way in, there it is. Oh, Brusselston, so it's pretty close. The pork chop or the lamb chop maybe, but it looks more like a pork chop to me, a thicker bone and a bit more meat on it. But it all starts on the main straight. We then head up towards turn one, Brett, where this is the first spot where we could see drivers going for overtakes. But if you're not fully committed, it could very well happen that two cars either come together or one car gets scared and you head off into the left in the sand trap and the grass on the outside.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you approach turn one, you go, oh shit, we're already here because it's such a short straight. And as you see, where we start from, half the cars are, backed up the hill. It's just not the most exciting starting grid you've ever seen. But turn one is definitely one of those ones, especially after your first lap at high speed. It's a bit of a butt clencher.
Yeah, it is a bit of a butt clencher. If you can make it through one, then you run up the hill, obviously, through two, and then into the braking zone of three, which is another butt clencher because you're hoping the car's going to be pulled up very early on in the race. Lap one, lap two could very easily see incidents happening up here. And as well off safety car restarts as well. So we're going to have to be cautious of that zone here this evening. You then run it around the long turn, or turn four, the long left, down towards the S's as we traverse our way down the hill. Then we get to our real next big danger zone, turn five. Dip down at the bottom of the hill, starts to come back up mid-corner, trying to run it as wide as possible without getting an off-track. If you catch some dirt, you're going to end up on the left-hand side of track and you're going to have a smashed-up car. It's also a blind crest as you come over the hill, so very easily, we saw it on last night in the Split 4 broadcast, the demolishment of around about 6 cars off one car being stopped on the straight. So this here is a spot which is going to be quite hairy tonight for some drivers. They will have to be cautious as well. I think because it's not a longer format race tonight, Brett, it's a shorter format of 150. I don't think
on the gas.
Yeah, I think they're going to be on the gas. I don't think fatigue's going to be the issue because normally that might be what gets you at 5 is a bit of fatigue. But I think just pushing a little bit too hard too early could easily see us getting into some strife down at turn 5. If you make it through there, though, you then run down towards turn 6 as well.
I'll tell you what. Sorry, Hamish. I'll tell you what, though. If anyone didn't watch that Split 3 broadcast, four. Sorry, Split 4 broadcast. Go and have a look at it because poor old John Van Ree. And it just goes to show you when you're sitting in the seat, as he showed on his replay, as you're sitting in that seat, he had nowhere to go. Like he was flat stick, and there was nothing he could do. So, like, if you lose it there, it's big trouble.
You know what I think it was? Anyway. He couldn't handle Baldock being in the top 10.
No, I don't reckon he could either. It'd be something that I'd want to be getting in front of him. But the pressure was on, and all hell broke loose, and everything went everywhere. All the Easter eggs got thrown out of the basket.
Well, if you manage to make it past that danger spot of 5, you then head down towards turn 6 and in towards turn 7 for the double right-hander. You can get a bit loose on exit, though, at 7, so that could hinder your run down the straight. Maximising your run, that's going to be important tonight. At majority of these corners, 7, one of the most important of those. Yeah. Because you've got to get the power down, not only as quickly as possible, but as smooth as possible. Yeah. Get the car up to speed, get yourself in some slipstream, run it through 8 and 9, and then you can set yourself up for a good move down at the entry into the Formula Drift section of 10A and 10B, where you can get it down the inside. One important thing we need to remember, though, is if you leave too much space on your right-hand side when you're going for the move, the car who you're passing will then attempt to try and make it too wide and challenge you for position through 10B, and then very likely get it back up over the hill through 11 underneath the bridge and then down at the bottom at turn 12. So they're going to have to be cautious of that tonight, Brett. Pit entry, pit exit. The pit entry here is one of the worst on the whole, not only the whole calendar this season, one of the worst in iRacing. It is one of the worst pit entries you could ever want to try and go through. Trying to get the car not only slowed up, but actually nice and easily through there. It's such a tough little balancing act as you tiptoe the car down. The exit...
Well, it's even... Sorry, Hamish, but even before that, as you come under the bridge, as you come over the bridge, trying to get off track, the guys behind you going flat out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the line of the car's going to go. Yeah, it's a nightmare. They didn't really think it through, did they?
Well, I don't know if they really expected, back in 1969 to have hundreds of horsepower boats that are V8 supercars racing around here, but maybe a modern track upgrade could be done. I mean, there's room there to change the profile of the pit entry to make it a little bit easier, but I don't know if they will. I mean, they've already changed pit entries once. The original pit was on the old variant of the circuit, which actually goes further down and then tucks back up and around. So down at turn 12. So maybe another rehash is in due time. Of course, 4.088 Ks, 2.5 miles in the old language, 12 turns with a clockwise direction. As I said, it was opened in 1969. The track has not changed. It only has one other variant, and it cuts out the bone from the meat of the pork chop / chicken drumstick, as I've just seen Peter Kelleher call it as well. I love Road Atlanta. I love the first 3 rounds of this season. I'm a big fan of Long Beach for next week, but Road Atlanta, this is going to be special here tonight, as I said. Drivers, though, are getting in towards the end of qualifying here this evening as well. So they're going to start getting themselves sorted. There's no warm-up tonight, Brett, so we're going to be straight into racing action. Of course, we were time limited on when the race could take place. If we get any safety cars, I think we can survive with one. I think it's if we get 2 or 3, then we're going to go time certain depending on how long those safety car periods are. Because if at an average of maybe 3 laps under safety car, you might lose 8 minutes. When the race is scheduled to only go 50 minutes for 37 laps, then all of a sudden you're on wood for losing a couple laps at the end. Yeah.
Things will get tight at the end if that happens, but we'll certainly see what happens, eh?
We will indeed. Now, I do have to pre-ask you, Brett, before we come into tonight's race.
Yes.
Did you go to the bank after Spa, and have you sorted out a proper loan for yourself so you don't money shift again?
No. I'm just hoping like hell I don't money shift again.
Well, time will tell.
Yeah, the boys put me on limited engines. I think actually even Ed said I think we should start fining you for blowing engines.
Well, starting grid for tonight's race looks just as fine as ever as Brad Doble takes his first pole position for the season for Shadow Racing. He'll start on the front row alongside Accelerate Sim Racing's Mick Clifton. Up there with Andrew Hoffman and Chad Viger in behind them. Tim Mulford, Halil Cesar of Infinity Motorsport that makes up the top 6. Solid performance tonight for Halil. Could find him in the hunt for the top 3 of the championship. Craig Friend then starts in behind with championship leader Trent Allen alongside him of Revolution E-Racing. Michael Quain, Brent O'Brien makes his return to the series here tonight after missing round 1 for ERT. He'll start inside the top 10. The silent assassin of last season looks to do more sneaky hit jobs on the field and the championship standings this season, in the best of ways, of course, not in any negative ways for him. Robert Crisdale, Darren Crosby then start alongside each other on your 6th row of the grid with Lorne Mackay and Mark Houghton starting ahead of Todd Duggan and Shane Randall for your top 16. Robbie Griffith, Simon Haynes, and then start ahead of Alistair Bales and yourself, Brett, for the top 20 with Scott Weston, Paul Burns, Brett Taylor and Matt Stoyles for our top 24. It's an all EWT 12th row of the grid. Luke Powell, Ben Brook, Matt Scholes and Rick Viger. Luke Powell, do we think he's disappointed in that qualifying performance? We'll chat about it at the start of the race, but definitely not up to what we expected of him after last week's performances. Wade Reynolds, though, Matt Monday, they'll make up the top 30 with Peter Baxter, Reese Degoe, Derek Lovegrove and Adrian Zeal for the top 24, with Mario Reali and Jeremy Bush for the top 36. In behind them, it'll be Sean Cullen, Michael Jones, as the last cars are set times in qualifying, as Steve Lanyon and Damon Fisher have, I believe, rear of grid penalties, so they'll be starting at the back of the field in behind the race controllers.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's your grid. Hope everyone in chat land is getting ready for a great race because we're about to go racing here. Good to see you all out there. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah, you want to try and get the support in there if you can. We would so appreciate it. It really helps not only support the series if you're subscribing and liking on the Vets side of the broadcast, but also if you're watching over in Infinity Broadcasting as well, supporting us on our channel. Well, that not only helps support me, but helps support the series that I get to broadcast, such as the Vets or anything else that may be on there as well. So I'm looking forward to tonight though, Brett. This is going to be a solid race, I feel, and I think for these drivers, I mean, Road Atlanta is a fantastic track, great for battling. Can get a bit of chaos too. It's got a bit of everything about it. 150Ks though, I think we can only blame iRacing for that. 200Ks or 250 would have been so much better if we could have had it. But lights are up for them. Let's see how we go for lap 1 as Brad Doble will lead us away. Couple of cars getting it lit up off the start line, one of them being Chad Weiger and Craig Friend. Hallel says that Trent Allen already making moves early. So is Tim Mulford onto the top 3 positions. But as Doble leads us up and around towards turn 2, the cars are already scrambling for position in the mid-pack.
Yeah, what a great jump from Brad. He's just pulled away a little bit there. It's second place. Oh, we've got a little bit of a melee happening in the background here.
Ooh.
Actually looked like one of the EWT cars, I think, was just around sideways there.
It's Brett Taylor. Brett Taylor into the wall, it seems, so he'll have to try and get that car going, and if he can't, could be a safety car worthy position if he needs to tow it back to pits. See many a blown engines up there at 2 and 3, and drivers will be hoping they can keep their car on the road in the straight and narrow here tonight, because unfortunately, Brett, if we get blown engines, you don't have much time to come back, get onto the lead lap, and then get something out of your race.
No, it's only a shorter track, isn't it? So, yeah, you sort of, yeah, you don't want that to happen. I was watching the shifts coming down this straight, I tell you.
I think nearly everyone would have been. After the Kemmel straight last week, you don't want to end up blowing your engine here tonight in towards the FD section of 10A, 10B and turn 11, so drivers will be trying to keep themselves in check very, very early on as Brad Doble leads us through to start lap 2.
He's done well.
He's done very well.
Yeah, he's done well. He's had a little bit of a break there, so about 3/4 of a second off Clifton. And Mulford there tucked right up in behind as well. A little bit of a jostling back there as well.
So Brian already gone defensive here on Chad Weiger. We know that Brenton loves to just sneak his way forward. I have the absolute pleasure of commentating with him on the Monday Night Porsche Cup series, and it's very interesting to hear the way that his perspective is as a team owner for EWT drivers in that series, or ERT drivers, I should say, in that series. And then how that actually, how he then presents himself on track and how he tries to approach a race. It's very interesting. He's got a very smart mind for racing, and there's a reason why he's always able just to sneak his way forward and get solid, consistent points performances. So I expect big things out of him this season.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to. We need to sort of. I'll have to have a chat to you off air about that and see where I can pick up some pointers.
Oh, I don't know. It's a bit hard. It's a bit hard when he's got Job Stewart in his team, Brett, and unfortunately, Shadow Racing does not. But I think there's a difference though. He doesn't bring the Kelvin in. You do.
Oh, well, that's it. Yeah. I mean, he had a great race last week, third. So he's trying to back up what he did last week. So that's great to see him out there. At the moment in 8th place, so he's going well. It's starting to build a good round.
Yeah, good Chad Weiger. He's, I think for Chad, even if he doesn't back up last week, if he can get another top 10, and then next week at Long Beach get another top 10, and then the week after again,
starting to solidify.
Exactly.
Yep.
Just build yourself a championship season. It doesn't have to be race wins. I still stand by the fact that I think to win this championship, you need to win a minimum of 2 races in the season. I don't think you can get away with just 1 anymore. The only way that falls away is if there isn't consistent winners, and the top sort of 10 gets shuffled hard further down the back of the pack. Consistency will bring it through, but you're right. It's not probably the norm, as so to speak. And I think unfortunately, because this is the most consistent split, and it's the closest split as well in terms of lap times, we hardly ever see massive shuffles of inconsistency from the front of the field. The more inconsistency is from sort of the mid-pack to the rear of the field.
What you're saying from around about where I'm at?
Well...
No, it's true. It is true. It is true.
So, you know, and then this is not to pick on anybody. There are a lot of different skill levels in Split 2. But there's still a lot of different. There's not a lot of different pace variables. It's not a massive gap from P1 to P, 45 or whatever it might be at the back of the field. The pace discrepancy is not that, different. It's the consistency that's the major factor. And, another big factor, obviously, is license points as well and how that affects your season. Already one driver who would have come into it, you'd think, oh, he's got the pace, he should be a contender. Well, they're already missing around because of their license points, and it's not because of the 2 they got last week. It's because of the 24 they got the 8 rounds prior. So it's
and that's going to have a big effect on the championship for sure. We're just watching Brad here, sort of just now stretching about a 1.2 second lead over Mick Clifton. So he's looks like he's very comfortable in the car here.
Rick Viger as well. I thought he might have been in some strife. He's only just dropped a position. Scott Weston. It's so good to see Scotty. Even after he's had a poor start, he's down a couple of spots, but he's still pushing on to make more. And for Rick Viger, he's up 5. Matty Monday up 6-2. Peter Baxter up 5. These guys here, solidified names in the field. Guys have been around for a fair while, just pushing their way forward and trying to get some solid performances out.
Baxter having a look on the inside there.
He is on Bales. Bales is on the outside line.
Bales backs the Bales out on that one.
That's what no one else brings, Brad.
Oh my
God, that was about as close as you want to get.
Wow.
As Scholes is in pit lane, I believe, for a drive-through penalty for contact on that one, so he's now having to come through pit lane. Lorne Mackay.
There we go.
Hot on the heels of Todd Duggan. Good to see Duggan got that internet issue sorted, Brett, and he's back out there. He's got some solid pace tonight. He's already up 2 spots and into the top 13.
Well, that's a cracking start for him there. I'll tell you what, though, I mean, the field when you were compressed with other cars, very hard track to pass, as we see.
Crosby with a... That was almost... I'm about to miss my exit on the... that was almost... I'm about to miss my exit on the M1, and I'm going to jump 3 lanes. It was that aggressive, but...
It was very aggressive, but he didn't really do much with it.
He didn't really do much with it, no. He just changed lanes.
I wonder whether he had his indicator on, but he's going to have another look here. He's going to try the outside run.
And this is now one of the toughest spots to try and get this outside run done, because, of course, the inside can then run alongside you, and if you can't get the drive through the corner, he's already got the move done on the entry, so Lorne Mackay gave it to him in the end. Smart driving there from Lorne. Good move for Darren. He's trying to fight his way back forward. He's only down 2 spots now in this race after early contact on lap 1. And the M1 used car entry is starting to fight his way back forward again, which is good to see.
Yeah. Interesting section of track this too. As you come down, the car bottoms out, loads up, and you punch it up the hill there. Then you come over to that top section of the track there, and you just don't know where you're going. So it took me, I know I've been on this track before, but it took me a few times around to sort of start and get the confidence to turn the car in and actually sort of, at some pace. Because it's sort of very blind.
Yeah, it's a section which, for some drivers, they can get caught out by. But it seems now, Brett, that we've gotten into our rhythm and everything's started to clean themselves up a bit, which is the nature of Road Atlanta. If you can't survive the early carnage, eventually you just have carnage on for days. It's carnage galore here. But the field, it seems, has survived it. They're now able just to push on to have some consistent running.
And even though the pack is spread out now, you can see, I mean, down from 29 back to 38, they're all sort of close together there. There's a couple of packs in mid-pack, and there's 2 or 3 battles up the front. So there's a lot of battles going along on track, and there's things happening everywhere at this stage. One of those ones hard to know where to look.
It is indeed, as the race leader is already building himself out a 1.8 second lead. He's not running away with it, but he's just getting some consistent pace going ahead of Mick. I'm very impressed tonight by Mick Clifton. This guy has been really working hard over the last year or so to get his pace up to scratch, and he is getting better and better as the seasons go on. And to be, taking it to a guy like Tim Mulford is incredible to see. I'm also impressed tonight by the pace.
Because Mulford's fast.
He's very fast.
Bloody
He's fast.
you know,
he's aggressive, and he's a tough racer to battle with. Now, obviously, he was caught up in a moment last week, which then cost him a top 10. But I think he's a very talented driver, and to see Mick up here battling with him, great to see. Same thing for Andrew Hoffman as well. Return to form for him tonight too, so he's doing very well.
Yeah, good to see Hoffy up there. He got a good qualifying there, so hopefully he has a nice clean race. Hale says behind him as well.
He's putting some pressure on him at the moment, off the back of the Chubby Buns entry for SCR. This battle will continue on. Mulford has now gotten past Mick Clifton. Look at the wiggle. The wiggle as they try and get the car balanced up over the hill.
Love it. Love it. It's actually like... This track has got probably 3 or 4 sections which are tough, but you find it very rewarding as we see Quaney. And Crisdale, one of the strong performers of last week. Robert Crisdale, slight contact with Quaney there. Might try and redress. Griffo does not want to get caught up in this. He's trying to get back up to consistency once again. And then look who's sneaking in the background trying to get some bait and tackle going. Yourself, Brett, ready to go in the deep end. Haven't got the heavy lines out. I'm trying to catch a ride. Haven't gone anywhere. Still on 20 the spot. I think that's where I started. But I'm cruising along okay. It was a tough track. It was a really, really tough track. I mean, I didn't have any confidence, although I think actually up here I tried to pull up the inside of Quaney here, but he defended very strongly down the bottom of the straight here. I'll tell you that right now. I'll give you the beans.
No side draft for you just yet.
Yeah.
Trying to give yourself plenty of elbows out room, it seems, down towards 10A, 10B, although he then did give you the squeeze. And was like, not getting it, sunshine. Get back there.
I tell you what, I was ready for the car to dive out sideways, I tell you.
Probably knackering yourself at that point. You're like, oh.
Yeah. We're through. I'm safe. As I said, after blowing the motor last week, I just wanted to get a half reasonable round out. I was a bit tentative, through some sections of the track, but it was great racing. Great racing.
It's good to see from you at the moment here. Crisdale just lost the spot to Robert Griffiths. We may see a redress happening for Michael Quain soon from Crisdale, because I feel like he's almost waiting for Quaney to get up to him to give him the spot back after their minor contact at turn 1. Now, they both kept going, so I don't think it's worthy of a drive-through by no means. I think maybe just a simple redress or maybe a 5-point penalty for Robert would be evidence enough. Andrew Hoffman, Halil Cesar, their battle continuing on now. Lap 9 of 37. Critical lap tonight was roughly lap 9, lap 10. So don't be surprised if you see some early pit stoppers here for the one stop to get home.
And my mate Trent Allen, he's climbed up on the back of Cesar.
Yeah, there you go. Called his name right. Very well. Very good.
I know. I had to concentrate very hard on that one.
We've been practicing that one in the mirror all week. Trent Allen. Allen.
Sorry, Trent. Unbelievable.
So, so of course, one of the other big things tonight was obviously we got a shorter distance thanks to the iRacing maintenance. It was then also changed in the sup regs because of that to a 1 compulsory pit stop race here tonight. You could go for the 2 stop if you want, but you would be giving up some time. Unless there was an early safety car before the critical lap was where you'd really reap the benefits of that one, as Crisdale's in at the end of lap 9.
Just looking at Brad at the moment, like 2.6 seconds, so he's really cruising out in front at the moment. Mick Clifton back to Tim Mulford, and then Mick Clifton is another second behind him. Hoffy's close enough, though, half a second off the back of him as we're watching this go now. And then we've got Cesar, Trent, and then O'Brien back another bit of a gap there. But some close racing up the front. But as I said, still a lot of racing going on all the way up and down that tree.
Yeah, and it's
a lot of cars nose to tail.
It's going to go by very, very quickly here, Brett. And I think now at this stage of the race, we've gone pretty easily green so far. And I think barring a blown engine with a car stopped on the track, I don't think we're going to see the safety car tonight now. That's just my feeling. And that the race is not feeling like a safety car race. It feels like, run and done, straight sprint race to the end, get the one stop happening and then push on to the checkered. Because I don't think the safety car, even if it did come out, is going to pay much benefit as Cesar has taken a very late entry Could have possibly caught out Trent Allen there. Might have wanted to follow him in. Had no hope of doing so, as he now comes in for the first stop.
I'll tell you what, that was an exit off a freeway in desperation. I tell you.
I heard a sneaky word that there was words of take late entry to pit so no one follows you for Cesar there. Not sure who told me the information or who could have told me or who could have told him, but that's just the word that I've heard through the grapevine.
You see Quayne in pits and Brooke in pits.
Yeah, so some more earlier pit stoppers here tonight going right on critical lap, maybe saving themselves the maths to get home for the one stop. It was roughly 72.2 litres to get home this race, depending on your fuel usage of roughly around about 3.3 would be an average. Some drivers will use more, some will use less. So that's sort of the big marketing scheme of fuel strategy here tonight. We'll see if Trent Allen comes in to counteract the undercut of Halil Cesar.
See where it comes out, yeah. Yeah,
because Cesar was holding good pace, but I think he probably had a little bit more pace under the hood compared to maybe Clifton and Hoffman. He wants to try and just let that beast loose to try and push on. And Trent may be feeling the same effects now. Of course, championship leader, he's coming straight in.
There he does.
So
I
think
react straight away.
Yeah, both to react to Cesar, but also to try and do the same thing of undercut Hoffman and Clifton ahead of him.
And you were just mentioning there, Trent just keeping off the back. You know, maybe he's holding a bit more pace in his pocket. Yeah, that's true, because as I say, sometimes you don't really, if two cars are battling in front of you and they're having a good old dice, and you can see someone wanting to have a little bit of a dive or something like that, there's no point in getting right up in there and being caught up in their mess. To go in pits.
To go he's in. This is where Halil Cesar is, down towards turn 10A, 10B. Now, obviously, it's a longer stop tonight. It's the one stop. Cesar's was around about 31.54 seconds on the jacks. Through the lane, it was 59.09 seconds for the Cooler Master entry. Trent Allen has just dropped down onto the tyres. It's a 30.11. So this should be enough to jump Cesar in the pits. He took slightly less fuel than what Cesar did, but the important thing now is both these guys have got pace. So now I think Cesar will be happy just to sit behind Trent, let him pull him forward, and they can push on while there's clear track ahead of them.
Yeah, and this will open up their true pace too. And that's what I found myself during the race, is that I was tucked up behind a few guys and things like that, and I found there was probably 2 or 3 sections where I had a lot more pace than the guys around me, but couldn't do anything with it. You know, and I wasn't quite game to throw the car up the inside or something like that unless an opportunity presented itself. Friend, Crosby and Duggan in pits. Lap 13 of 37.
Powell's in too.
Very quickly.
I think possibly Powell not as comfortable this week here, because it was definitely under pace of what we may have expected to see out of him tonight compared to last week at Spa. Maybe does that come down to the fact he had extra time to practice for Spa compared to Road Atlanta, where he only had a week to get suited to this track, where Spa he had about 3 weeks to get used to it.
Well, I think next week's race at Long Beach is going to be the proving ground to see where people are at, whether they've got the pace or whether, you know what I mean, exactly as you said, whether they've had the time to practice and get the cars sorted out, or that shorter period of time is going to catch them out and they're not going to be quite as much on pace. But week to week we'll find out.
Brad Doble leads the way at the moment. When does he come into pit lane? They've got around about a maximum of 15 laps worth of fuel on board these cars. Starting fuel of 50 litres, 70% tank capacity. So they can only fill up to 93 litres, as Bretton O'Brien and Chad Viger are in. So we'll see now how well this undercut's worked out for Cesar and Allen, of actually being able to gap O'Brien and Viger out a little bit. Because it's not just gaining position you can do with that undercut, it's you can also gain some on-track time as well in building up those gaps to cars behind you who were chasing you down previously. And as you said, Allen and Cesar, they've been released now where they can find their true pace. They're not stuck behind anyone, and they can push on full rip snort towards the end of this race, as they're just entering turn 10 now.
So just looking at some of the gainers at the moment, obviously we're still going through pits and stuff like that. Shane Randall up 11, Lorne Mackay up 7, Simon Haynes up 11, Robbie Griffith up 9, Matthew Scholes up 14, Rick Geiger up 16, Peter Baxter up 18. So but that will also settle down once we get through all these pits.
I noticed you didn't say Brett Fisher up 9 as well.
Oh, no, he's a loser. Don't worry about him.
Also, Matty Monday up 16, Zeal up 19, Riali up 19, Jones up 21, Damon Fisher up 25, Cullen up 17, Bush up 15. But as you said, pit stop still to happen as Doble and Mulford are into pit lane now as lap 15 has started. Randall follows them in. Clifton has stayed out for another lap, so he'll get himself an extra point for leading a lap here. But those front runners are now into pit lane. Where is Trent Allen and Halil Cesar? Cesar has just set the fastest lap of the race here, Brett. So being behind Allen compared to Hoffman has allowed him to push on and set a 122.20 as the fastest lap of the race thus far.
Cracking pace.
So I think predicted, I don't think they're going to come out ahead of Doble, but at this current pace, I think they might actually come out ahead of Hoffman. I think the undercuts worked for them. Because they managed to push on with some fantastic pace at this stage. And, of course, you know, Cesar knows it's not worth battling with Allen just yet. Might as well wait till the last sort of 10 laps or so. But work with him. Let him pull you forward. Let him help you gain positions. As they come round, they've not only jumped Hoffman, they've also, or at least with Trent Allen, have jumped Tim Mulford here. Oh, we've had a blink. There we go. It's back.
Yep.
And Cesar's already putting the pressure on him here. But warm tyres, gripped up tyres on Cesar's car. Cold tyres for Mulford. Cesar may do him here if he gets by.
You just feel the pressure's just heating up a little bit. The desperation, you know, coming out on new tyres, using them, getting them warmed up quickly, and just trying to make hay while the sun's shining. He's closed right up in on now. Clifton in, Mackay in.
Griffiths in as well. So we need to focus on McClifton here because he was P2 before coming into pit lane, corrected P2. So we notice as well, Trent Allen has actually closed the gap to Brad Doble through the pit stop. So that's another bonus of the undercut here as Mulford is trying to keep Cesar away from him right now. But if they gain some pace, they get up to Trent Allen, it could be on for young and old here. Because these three, they're hungry drivers, they're fast drivers, they're aggressive, but they're also very calculated too.
Yeah, and as I was going to say before, I just get the feeling that the pressure has lifted a little bit. Just in this desperate time in lap 16 of 37, you know, pit stops, one pit stop only. You know, get the right amount of fuel in the car, get out and get back amongst it, you know, before things settle down too much.
I'll tell you what, that extra lap hurt McClifton. He's dropped right off the podium now. He's corrected P5 as Michael Jones still needs a pit stop in this race. So, yeah, going the extra lap there, he might have gotten the extra point, but he's given up probably 3 positions. He's at least given up 2 by going the extra lap. Probably should have come in when Mulford did instead of going again. So it's a shame for him, but he's still on it.
His pit time is no greater or no less than anyone else. It's a 30.72. Cesar's pit time was a 31.54. So yeah, he hasn't sort of like done anything drastic there to sort of you know, what am I trying to say? You know, justify that time difference that he's on track now.
I think it all comes down to the fact that he did a 27.32 on his in lap, and these guys were all running in the 23s or the 22s, so they got some good gain out of it on that one as Jones is in pit lane. So he'll now drop a bit further down the order. Brendan O'Brien's done well through this pit stop cycle as well. He's jumped Hoffy in the end and is starting to catch up to McClifton, so a top 5 finish could be on the cards here for Breton in this race. Simon Haynes has also jumped Shane Randall in pit lane too, so there's been a change in position between them through the pit stop cycle as well. Paul Burns has done well in this race, up 9 positions at the moment. And a P13 for the 801 Simsports driver. This looks to be a cracking race for him tonight if he can pull it out.
Yeah, and Trent Allen up 6 after the field's been cleansed. We're starting to see, you know, like all these sort of true positions now show. So Trent's done well up 6 positions, so he's flying.
He's having a cracking race. Todd Duggan having a good race as well. It's really good to see Todd back up in form and with the luck. And hopefully this fixes him up tonight. If he can get this top 15 finish, this will do wonders for Todd's confidence. And it'd be great to see. I mean, you know, it's been told to us by John Van Reed, Todd is a very nice guy when you meet him in real life. I've never had the pleasure. But he has been through so much strife over the last few years. I almost feel like I want to see a good season out of him now, just for him. I want to see him run a good season, whether it's a top 10 in the championship or a top 5, whatever it may be. I want to see Todd Duggan do well now. And hopefully this is the start to that happening for him.
Lorne Mackay giving him a bit of pressure there, though, as he comes over to the front straight. I'm saying Hoffy seems to have lost out after these pit stops. He's down 4 spots.
Over-fueled by 8 litres, but that would put him at a 26-second stop, which... put him in about a 28-second stop. So that would be ludicrous compared to the rest of the field.
Yeah, so you stop on SDK, only seems to be 3.77 seconds, so I don't know what's happened there.
30.77.
30.7, yeah. You know what I was trying to say. Oh, look at this pressure here. Lord Mackay right on the back of Duggan here. Mackay got a great exit out there. Can he do something through here? Griffith's now closed up as well.
Got the job done. And a great effort there from Lord Mackay.
Yeah. Tough section of track, but if you're confident with the car...
That's all right, though, for Todd. He got through nice and cleanly, and he's still within this fight. He'll have a chance to come back at him here if he can find the pace in towards turn 10. But Mackay, of course, going to cover that inside line. Duggan straight back at him into brakes. Can they go side by side through here? Big lock up from Duggan. No, he just lost out, and here comes Griffo to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that was a great run by Mackay, though. Like, he's done well to keep that car on track where he did.
Fair effort to Duggan, though, to come back at him and make the attempt. Very fair effort. Didn't end up off track. Only lost the 1 position. Not too bad. Can keep fighting for another day.
He was lucky to get that car turned, considering how long he locked up that tyre for as well.
Yeah, very, very lucky. A bit further back, there's some close battles as well of Luke Powell, Reese Segoe, Brett Fisher, Scott Weston battling away. Mark Houghton has Matt Stoyles on his tail at this stage. Further back in the field, Michael Jones, Damon Fisher, Adrian Zeal, Ben Brook, and Rob Crisdale all involved in this one here. So Crisdale copped, I believe, a drive-through possibly from earlier, Brett. So he's now well back in the field, but one of the closest and most tantalising up the front here. Trent Allen, Tim Mulford, Halil Cesar chasing them down, as well as Mick Clifton, and this is all for second place on the road.
Have a look at this. Oh, this is the very heated battle pack here, and I'll tell you what, top drivers, top pace, and it's all going on at this moment with this little pack here. But same again, like I just said before, like if you can have a look at the tree, there's battles going all over the track, so it hasn't just been, you know, a big sort of spread out sort of drivers. There's been some battle packs going all the way through, so it's great to see.
So Mulford hot on the heels here of Allen. Look how close he gets there. Runs it up through turn 5 now at the left-hander. Watch how wide out they go here. Try and get on the power as soon as possible. If you're a millimetre off getting all the way wide and you catch that sand, it's day done. You're in the wall and the car is broken. So they've done well to survive that. Oh my God, he ran it slightly wide. Look how close Mulford is to him. There's still one of your lines here. He was right up his ginger there on the entry.
Has he got a bit more pace coming in the straight? A little bit of a draft. You don't get much of a draft with these cars.
Here comes Mulford inside of 9 for the outside at 10. Can Mulford get this job done on Trent Allen here? Allen going to survive.
Done that really well.
Oh, he's done well to
Trent's
survive on this lap.
Trent's probably backed out of it as well. Yeah,
Yep.
Trent's probably just backed out of it a touch there too, knowing that, you know, like he's putting enough pressure on it. So he's, you know, if it was me, I'd be going, okay, well, I've got pace, but there's no need to do anything stupid. Has another dive on the inside, so he's definitely trying to make sure he sees him in the mirrors.
Yeah, Mulford wants him to know that he's there. He wants him to be fully aware that the Phoenix Racing Team car is hot on his heels and putting pressure on him for P2 to try and battle through.
You can just see the slightly different lines there that Mulford's taking just to try and get any slight advantage he can. Losing out a little bit here, but he was really close to him at the start of the first couple of corners. Dobell pulling out about a 3-second gap now while these guys battle. Dobell's really commanding this race so far. He's showing his dominance after last week, feeling very crook and showing in his times. But this week, the boy is on fire.
He's doing incredibly well at this stage. We have gone past the halfway point of the race. So as this battle for P2 continues on, we're going to head for a quick ad break to give thanks to Racekraft Simulations. If you're in the Perth area, head over to 16 Grogan Road, Perth Airport. Have a chat to John and the team. Check out some of the rigs they got. And if you've got the spare coin, maybe make a cheeky purchase as well. We'll be back very shortly, though, after these quick messages from Racecraft. Welcome back to Season 24, Round 2 of the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans action for Split 2. It's lap 23 of 37. It's myself, Hamish Munro and Brett Fisher look towards the end of this race. It's 14 laps to go here as the race leader, Brad Dobell's built out a nice lead at the moment. We saw some good battling during the ad break there. We saw a certain fish ending up out of the water at turn 1. But at this stage, this top 4, well, top 5, apart from Brad, have really started to turn on the jets and get into a tight battle here. It was a horrid exit of turn 7 for Tim Mulford that's lost him some time up to Trent Allen in P2. And Halil Cesar, I almost feel, can smell blood in the water here and trying to get past Tim Mulford very shortly.
Yeah, Cesar's on fire as well. Like, we've seen Trent Allen. Got that right. I questioned myself then when I said his name. I've seen him coming a little bit sideways as he come out of the last turn onto the front straight, and I thought, oh, he's losing a bit of pacey, but Mulford has just made that sort of same mistake, and he's dropped off the pace there, trying to break the draft from Cesar. And it looks like Clifton just sitting in the box seat, just watching what's going up in front.
We also noted as well, Andrew Hoffman really got a lovely exit out of turn 12 during the outbreak as well.
Yeah, I commented on that. And he's doing really well too. Like, I mean, we've got Brent O'Brien, Hoffman, Viger, and Friend all in another little battle here.
Tightly contested, having a good show of form for them. Up 4 position at the moment is Brent O'Brien, having a cracking race at the moment. Cesar's up 2, Mulford's up 2, Allen's up 6, Crosby up 2 at the back end of the top 10. They're all the big gainers. Inside of the 10, the losers at this stage are drivers who've lost position. Mick Clifton down 3, Hoffy down 4, Viger down 4, Friend down 2. Brad Doble still where he started this race in P1 on the road at this stage. Some other big movers just outside the 10. Simon Haynes up 7 positions at the moment in P11, chasing down Darren Crosby. Shane Randall up 4.
He's having a cracking race.
Is he a privateer now?
Yes, he is.
Oh.
He is a privateer.
Very interesting for Mr. Haynes, Mr. Simple. Randall up 4, Burnsy up 9 in a great effort from him as well. Maybe a smoky for driver of the day. We don't normally like to give it to most positions gained, but it's a great effort from Paul Burns tonight.
Yeah, I know he passed me within the first couple of laps, and he was on a mission when he did that, and he's continued that mission. So great effort for him so far.
So we head back up to turn 10. Tim Mulford, Trent Allen. Well, Tim has now gotten back onto the rear of the ARTT entry of Trent Allen there of Revolution E-Racing. Look at how wide they get there.
Yeah. You can tell they're all on it. You know, they're all on it. You know, I mean, Allen was going well out front, but I'll tell you what, he's made a couple of little errors, or Mulford has just put the hammer down and actually closed that gap.
Well, these 3 cars are separated by 0.8 of a second at the moment in their battle for P2 on the road. Any of them could get this position, and for Mick Clifton, if he opened it, all 3 of them make contact and make the gap even smaller, so then he can sneak on through and steal P2 from all 3 of them.
Oh, Cesar was really close to Mulford that time. He looks like he's closed the gap even further. Can he get the run out of this corner here? No, it looks pretty even. And it's just seesawing. This battle is just seesawing between all 3 of them.
You're not quite sure who's carrying the momentum at this stage and who is going to try and carry it towards the end of this race. We'll have 11 laps to go when the race leader Brad Doble crosses the start-finish line. Trent Allen gets it loose through 10A. Both Cesar and Mulford sneak it on through, and Trent Allen has dropped off the podium. The championship leader makes a crucial mistake just before the 11. Oh, he will be. Just before the 11 laps to go marker, he makes a crucial mistake. And Cesar and Mulford, we know, Brett, some of the hardest drivers to get past in this field.
Well, we'll have to watch that and see whether Tim can... oh, geez, there it goes. Trent can actually close that gap.
You could have kept it going. You could have said, let's see if Tim can build the gap now, and you could have been talking about Mulford.
Yes,
then.
I could have. Yes, yeah. I could have done that too.
We'll edit it in post, don't worry.
Yeah, we're live with it. Oh, I can't say that.
Oh, well, we're 5 minutes to 9. We're close enough.
I'm getting a smack on the wrist.
Craig Friend dropping
look at
position
Simon
here
Haynes.
to Darren Crosby. Here comes Hainesy. Simple into the 10 at turn 6. Up the inside. Good effort there from Simon Haynes. And now looks to put the pressure on Darren Crosby and Chad Viger ahead of him. Shane Randall would love a 5th position gained in this race to go to P11. He'd love to even get 2 more and get inside the top 10 to follow his teammates' efforts onto the podium here tonight. If Halil Cesar can get this finish here tonight, as well as Tim Mulford, not only is it their first podiums for the season, it'll be Halil Cesar's first podium for his new team of Infinity Motorsport. If Brad Doble, the race leader, can win tonight, it'll be his first ever race win in the Vets.
Yeah, that'll be huge. And he's got like a 4.2 second lead at the moment, so that is a commendable lead. Like, I mean, you'd have to stuff up royally to lose that. So he'd be, I don't know whether he'd be in cruise mode at the moment, but he's still pushing forward because that gap is increasing.
Well, he's done a 23.1 the last lap. Mulford's was a 23.2. Cesar a 23 dead. Allen a 22.7, so the P4 championship leading car is currently the fastest car inside of the top 10. In fact, the fastest car on the track at the moment.
Great looking car, that too. Look at that.
You know what else is a great looking car, Brett?
What?
The car in P3.
Oh,
Great looking car.
it is. It is. It is a good looking car. Cesar out sideways, so he knows he's got pressure from Trent. I had to think of that one, but you can see Trent's actually closed the gap again. So Cesar's going to be under fire here. 28 of 37 completed.
Off the back of Halil Cesar's Ford Mustang now. Trent Allen is right there on his heels and trying to get a second podium for this season. Of course, leads the championship. If he were to finish here, Brett, he would still lead the championship into Long Beach next week.
Yeah, and I was just about to say too, it's all well and good to get up on the back of a car, but can you pass them too? It's a tough track to pass, and you know there's that question in your head too, going, if I stuff the pass, it's going to, you know, I could be going further back, lose points. So, what are the questions going to be going through your mind at this stage? You know, okay, yeah, fair enough. I'm probably might be a little bit quicker than Cesar at this stage, but is it worth the couple of extra points that I might gain? Or is it worth, you know, taking that chance and possibly losing a lot more points?
Look at where Brendan O'Brien is right now, on the heels of Mick Clifton. So he's got a top 5 in his sights. Does the season 23 Silent Assassin of Brendan O'Brien. Big closing gap from the ERT Camaro, putting pressure on the Primal Wheels Accelerate Sim Racing Mustang of Mick Clifton there, known in other circles as the Rockstar. Well, we'll see if he can rock Brendan O'Brien's world tonight, or if Brendan has got some sound adjustments for Mick here and maybe getting past him at the same time.
Oh, here we go. Can they get it stopped? Yeah. Is there someone locked up in the background there? I think that was Hoffy doing a bit of a lock-up. Oh, look, side by side under the bridge. Tippy-toeing.
O'Brien gets the job done.
Nice move.
That was a great move there from Brendan.
Nice move.
The control of the car through the corner, kept the slide, then got the power down, got alongside Mick. Mick had nothing to do to defend it and just let Brendan on through there. Smart driving from both of them, but great move there from Brendan O'Brien to get the job done.
Have a look at Hoffy just hunting in the background too. Like, just from this view here, you can see him, you know, just slowly getting closer to Clifton too.
He's just lurking.
He'll be looking for, yeah, he'll be looking for a pass very, very soon if he can get that car sorted. A little bit wide on entry there, unless that was his normal line.
Yeah, Hoffy's definitely got some lurk about him tonight. He's got good pace, but I think he's just got to try and maximise on his qualifying. If this is to become more of a consistent thing for Hoffy, of qualifying up the front, battling up the front, he's then got to try and maximise on the race starts, maximise on getting the strategy down, and he'll really reap the benefits of those then qualifying performances. Because we saw it kind of go the wrong way at Barber last season. So, you know, if Hoffy's going to do well,
this is huge.
It's real huge. He's had to pull out of it and then tuck in behind again.
Yeah.
So I think
have a look at the battle pack behind Hoffy now.
They're all catching. They're all catching.
Yeah.
I think Clifton's becoming a cork in the bottle here as they run round turn 12. So it is 7 laps to go at Road Atlanta, and the pressure is on Mick Clifton, and it's on as a maximum at this stage. Can he get this job done? I've also noticed too, Trent Allen is still on the back of Cesar here, but doesn't look like he's pressuring him too much. Maybe waiting for an opportunity. But look at that train from Brendan O'Brien.
Yeah.
That goes all the way back to Shane Randall in P12. So from P5 back to P12, it's around about 7 cars in it, or 8 cars.
It's a very angry looking pack.
Very angry. Very, very angry. So O'Brien, who leads this small battle pack at this stage, doesn't look to be... He's at the front of the train.
He hasn't cleared.
He hasn't cleared.
Yeah, but he hasn't cleared Clifton that far.
Is he under pressure, though? Because I don't know if he's really
he's
feeling the pressure at this stage, because they're not right on him, and it's not like he's being swarmed. It's just that he's leading this train around from them as well. So
I think the gap there is enough to take the pressure off.
Yeah.
you know, so you can just concentrate on your driving and what's in front of you. But he hasn't cleared it enough to completely take that pressure away at this stage. It close. You make a small mistake, it'll close. As we see right there and then, Clifton's made up 2/10. You know, so that's how quick it can change. Look at that train.
It's uber close at the moment. And they're all hot on the heels of Brett O'Brien in P5. You can only just see the battle for P2 up ahead of them at turn 5 for Tim Mulford, Halil Cesar and Trent Allen at this stage. Outside the top 10, Robbie Griffiths putting pressure here on Lorne Mackay for P14. Matt Stoyles, Rick Viger, they're putting pressure on Mark Houghton. Heartbreak for Houghton last week with a PC disconnection. Hopefully he can make the check here this evening. And behind them, Luke Powers under pressure from Scott Weston, Brett Fisher and Reece DeGoey at this stage too, with Matty Monday lurking in the background.
Great little battle that. It was a fantastic race in those guys. It was really good. Just watching Cesar at the moment. He's 0.3 of a second behind Mulford. So he's closed that gap a little bit.
He's right on him. Right on him here tonight. It makes you wonder, if this was a 200k race and we had the 2 stops, how differently could this race have gone here, Brett?
Oh, yeah, the second pits would have mixed it right up again. Yeah, would have been interesting, but you know, well, we'll never know because Orison did what they did, and that's okay. Crosby closing on the back of Viger in that pack for 8th and 9th.
Yeah, he's starting to get put the pressure on him.
Same with Haynes right up on the back of Crosby as well.
Promise you, Project 36 of Brendan Griffiths has not been paid by me to say that. Thank you, Brendan. For the love of the pool master and livery. I made that. But yeah, thank you. But yeah, this battle pack he's hungry for it.
Hunting.
He's hunting for it. And you feel now, is it a rejuvenated Simon Haynes, now battling as a privateer? Is he rejuvenated to battle his way forward and to get some solid performances this season? Because we know he's been a little bit up and down. Maybe felt the pressure after winning split 3.
Yeah, big twitch there from Friend. That's going to open up that gap. Still from Haynes. Haynes right on the back of Crosby. Is he close enough to do anything though? He's going to poke the nose out.
Couldn't quite get it in the end.
Yeah. Come through here smooth, get a nice little... Oh, he got a nice little run in there too. Look at that. Can he hold it down the front straight, get a good exit here? Just dropped off a touch.
I don't think he's quite there. I think he's there or thereabouts, but I don't think he's right on him. Same thing. Oh, that's the wrong camera.
Whoa.
It's this one. Not that one. It's this one. I wanted this one. I wanted just behind the windscreen. I need to rename them. It was titled left rear suspension. I don't think this is the left rear suspension. Oh. No, that was the wrong one. But yeah, just on the dash here of Shane Randall, putting the pressure on Craig Friend. You'd hope for Shane's sake, but at least with his consistency, you get P11 as well. We've had the comment here from the 47th Infantry. The only split not to have a safety car here this weekend. And I think that says something about the consistency of split 2. Look at where Trent Allen is actually. He's backed right off here, so I think he knows it's not worth putting the pressure on Cesar or Tim. I think he knows that it's only a couple of points, can easily lose more than that if you push it too hard to gain them, so better just to consolidate.
Would he have wanted to stay a little bit more in contact with Cesar there, even though I was going to put in pressure? So I wonder whether something else has happened there to actually drop him further back.
Maybe he's having to save a little bit of fuel, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because if it was me, I wouldn't want to be as close as he is to Brenton O'Brien. So, you know, like that's just going to put himself under more pressure. So you might be right. Might be fuel saving.
Almost putting you in the hornet's nest, isn't it? Trying to put yourself under pressure for Brenton O'Brien.
That's a pack you don't want.
No, you do not. You do not. You know? One by one, they will try and force their way through. So you might want to try and just put the foot down. He's got about a second on Brenton. If he can keep it there, he's not in tow range, but definitely under pressure if he makes a mistake. So Trent here will be just trying to
maintain that.
Yeah.
Just wants to maintain that. Brad Doble nearly 5 seconds. Oh, he's 5 seconds out in front, so having an absolutely commanding lead on this pack at the moment.
We need to start thinking as well.
Run.
We need to start thinking as well here, Brett, who could be our drivers of the day nominations. Of course, if Brad wins, we can't nominate him because he's the race winner. We only nominate race winners only eligible when it's a wet race if they've had a spectacular performance. So I think now,
I've got a couple of guys. I'd like to pop up Simon Haynes.
Yep,
and I
agree
think
with that
Paul
one.
Burns has done a fantastic job so far.
I agree with that too. I think then as well, maybe we have to put Tim Mulford forward if he beats Cesar and Allen, and then I think Brett O'Brien has had a great race too. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's the other one I was thinking of. Yep, for sure. And an honorary mention for Brad for such a dominating lead so far. If he can hold this together.
I think it's been a great race from him, of course, leading the way. I'm just about to write them out so I can send them out in a moment.
So, you're still watching this Rick Viger, Crosby, Haynes. Randall's dropped out of that pack now, 1.5. Something's happened there to drop there. Friend is close behind him, but Paul Burns is nearly 4 seconds beyond him. So it's starting to spread out a little bit here on the top end of the pack, but Hoffman is still half a second behind Clifton. Crosby and Haynes on the back of Viger. So that's probably the biggest battles at the moment. And then we've got back further down the pack with Weston, DeGoey, myself, Monday, Grisdale. So that's a fairly angry pack there as well. Haynes looks like he got a good exit out there.
Yeah, he got a slight lock-up though. So poor entry, but good exit from him. So Brad Doble has now caught the white flag. 1 lap to go for the Shadow Racing driver in the Racecraft Simulations entry. We'll see what he can do towards his first win in the V8 Veterans if he can pull this out here tonight. Mulford.
Oh, Craig Friend in pit lanes.
Yep, Friend is in. I wonder if he maybe either underfield or he copped a penalty because that has now dropped him well outside top 10 contention. I saw then Cesar just had a little wiggle, it seemed, off turn 4, so he's now backed off from Mulford. So this may be how we finish it out here, Brett. With only a few corners left to run for Brad Doble at the front of the field. But what a moment this is for him to get his first win in Vets. He's only ever been in Split 1. He's never been in Split 2. He was put straight into Split 1 a few seasons ago. He was ill last week in a hard-fought effort. And now tonight, he reaps those benefits of consistency, quality pace, quality effort, and looks to take his very first race win in the V8 Vets.
Solid and consistent effort all night. He's been able to sort of just slowly plug away with that consistency, developing that gap as Brad comes down to the final turn now. Get ready to celebrate with the Shadow Racing Racecraft entry of Brad Doble wins tonight here at Road
Atlanta.
Thank you.
Tim Mulford comes home in P2.
America.
Halil Cesar gets his first podium for his new team as well in P3. His last podium was down at Interlagos, so that's a good effort from him. Trent Allen in P4. Brett O'Brien comes home in P5.
Must have been fuel up just after.
Yep. Mick Clifton in P6. Andrew Hoffman in a great effort in P7. Chad Viger, Darren Crosby, Simon Haynes makes up the top 10. Shane Randall, Paul Burns, Lorne Mackay, Robbie Griffiths, Todd Duggan then makes up our top 15. Driver of the Day nominations are in the chat as well. Tim Mulford, Brett O'Brien, Simon Haynes, Paul Burns are your options. Only want to see one vote from each person, please, and we only want to see those names. Any other names other than those will not be classified in the vote here this evening. But it was a great effort all race. It was a nice and tidy race as well. We only really got some action in terms of possible safety car on lap 1. After that, it was cracking battles all throughout.
Oh, battles all the way up and down the field. That was great to see that there was so... I mean, and that just goes to show you what's going on with this split too, that the battles are so close all the way up and down the field. It's incredible. You know, as I was saying to... I don't know whether I said on the broadcast, but we had 1 second in qualifying. 1 second covered 34 drivers. That is huge. You know, so, you know, it doesn't take much to elevate people or drop people down just by having a slightly good or slightly bad race. So it's as we talked about earlier, I think round 3 is going to be where we see the consistency start and come out.
And we'll see. I think by round 5, as we said last week, that's when we're going to know who is in contention for this championship and who are the proper championship contenders. We mentioned that it's going to take 2 race wins for them to win the championship this season. That's my belief. Well, 2 different winners in the first 2 rounds makes that hard for anyone else here this season, as both Brad Doble and Trent Allen have won races now in season 24. We'll start tonight's proceedings, though, of chats by having a quick chat to Halil Cesar, who takes home his first win, not for TSM Cooler Master Racing, for Cooler Master Infinity Motorsports here this evening. Halil, we've just cut you off in mid-conversation. It's the classic trick of dragging someone in from the green room. Congratulations, first podium for your new team and your first podium for this season since Interlagos of season 23. Congratulations and a great effort.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great broadcast as always. I thoroughly enjoyed that race. Like, Road Atlanta's one of those sort of tracks that I've driven many of years on, and I absolutely adore it. And it's a fantastic racetrack, especially the downhill section coming out of turn 3 or turn 2, whatever they call it. But yeah, it's a cracking track.
You could actually see it in your driving, Cesar, that you were confident with the car, putting it where you wanted to at times, and just sort of showing that little bit of force throughout the race. Incredibly well driven there, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. Yeah, look, this track's just got that nature of, if you drive too far on the aggression, then it bites you. But if you don't drive aggressively a little bit on this track, then you're basically nowhere, right? So, yeah, look, it's got a lot of great parts of the track. It's very hard to pass on. You really got to be on it to make the move. Had 1 or 2 opportunities. I actually tried passing Hoffy and didn't realise I had a little bit of throttle trail going on still, so I couldn't get away with the pass, but lucky to keep it on the road. So the pass was made. I just, little silly errors, but it's a tough track to pass on. So you got to really just be on it, or pack it up and go home.
And exactly as you said, and that's probably one of the things I was thinking about all the time in practice, you don't want to overcommit, but you can't afford to undercommit either, because you're just not going to get the car going fast enough and getting the times down and things like that. And I think that's going to be the telltale of the season too, is the fact is to minimise the mistakes. Well, I think we did talk about it in last week's broadcast as well, as the person who makes the least amount of mistakes. When we all make mistakes, but if you can make the least amount of mistakes, that's going to be really, really a huge contributor to your championship.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. I mean, out of all the seasons I've ever done racing in sim, it's always been consistency. As I been welcomed to this new team, and loving every minute of it. And just talking to a few of the boys like after the race, and I think it was James, and I was just saying, dude, just focus on consistency. You don't have to be the fastest guy on the track, but if a lap time is X, make sure that the Y is there consistently, because you'll be fine. It'll come back to you. I mean, you can see in that race, Tim was pulled a little bit of a gap. And my sole focus was just keep pumping out those consistent lap times. He'll come back to me. And as you're saying at the end, it was on for the last lap if I didn't have that moment. But anything happens, but just got to be there for the consistency.
You do all the time. And just about your team and your team members and things like that, just in a general nature, that's, like what we were saying is when you're practicing with the boys and things like that, isn't that so imperative to try and get those things across to the other team members and help them lift? And just doing those few little things, you can see other members of your team lift with you as well.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I've been on with vets from late 2020. I've never had a real teammate. I've had guidance from people on, the likes of Jamie and all sorts of, guys just, Mark Duggan when he was around and all that sort of stuff. But it's been a great experience. The first, technically I was with the boys at the last round, jumped in there with them, and it's been great. I can just now solely just concentrate on driving. As you know, Hamish is our crew chief, so I get the message early. I get to focus on driving. I know what fuel number I need to throw in. and just bouncing stuff with Shane. It's been absolutely fantastic because we do share a similar pace, which I think that's what makes the big difference, right? If you have a teammate that's got a similar pace, right? So
Yep.
it's been really welcoming. I'm absolutely loving it.
Fantastic. Well done, Cesar.
Well,
Thank
Halil,
you, mate.
a phenomenal effort from yourself and
Thanks, mate.
a well-deserved podium in the end. Let us know anyone you want to give a shout-out to. Might be friends or family who may be watching. Anyone else, the floor is yours. And congratulations on your P3 here tonight and your equal P3rd in the championship at the moment. So that's a cracking effort in the first few rounds.
Yeah, thanks, Hamish. So it's a long list. Basically, first of all, we'd just like to say thank you guys for the broadcasting team from Infinity Broadcast. Both commentators are fantastic. The major sponsor of the series, Racecraft. The vets, the admin vets, absolutely guys, you do a fantastic job behind the scenes. We can't, go past without Jamie's setups. And, again, thank you, mate. From my team sponsor side of things, this is a new one for me, guys, so bear with me. Like to thank Infinity Broadcast again, Blackheart Designs, WD40, Motorsport Parts Australia, iRacing World Challenge, VRS, and my major sponsor that I've had for the last 5 years, Caller Master. Absolutely love you guys. Mark Wadden Mechanical out at Castle Hill. And yeah, just basically thanks everyone for watching and hopefully a good result at Long Beach.
Well, mate, we look forward to seeing how you go at Long Beach on the streets of concrete surrounds, and we'll see if you can back up your performances here tonight. You're looking like a strong contender already, so hopefully you can keep it going for yourself.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. And great call again, guys. Thank you.
No worries, mate. Thank you. Well, it was good to have a driver who actually remembered to pull up the list to shout out all the sponsors of the team.
That's good.
It is good. It is good.
No, he's done well.
He's done well.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
The colour's great too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, on to another good-looking car. This one, though, at the front of the field tonight. It's the car of a first-time race winner now in the V8 Veterans. Here for Racecraft Simulations Season 24, Split 2. First time on the top step of the podium. In the 302 Mustang, it is Brad Doble. Brad, congratulations. We've done it again, Brett. We've cut off a conversation mid-talk in the green room.
That's good. That's what we want.
But, Brad, congratulations. Your first win in the Vets. Quite a dominant win as well, mate. Just a top-level performance. And for the rare occasion, which I don't think's actually ever happened in the Split 2 broadcast booth, both of us have had a teammate on the podium. So congratulations on giving Brett something to celebrate this week as well.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, mate. Pumped. Absolutely pumped. Watched the broadcast with the battles going on behind. The boys in behind, they had an awesome job back there, and they made my life a little bit easier while they were battling.
It gets a bit boring when you're 4 seconds out in front of them, isn't it?
The race couldn't finish quick enough. Every time someone called someone in, I'm thinking, no safety car, no safety car.
Brad's the only one who was happy that it was a 150k race. The rest of us wanted the 200 still. But
I could have went for the longer race. I was basically, because they were battling back there. I was able to sort of drive a little bit more conservative out in front without damaging my tyres and just keeping the laps down. So yeah, very enjoyable. And it's great broadcast too, fellas. So, done a great job.
Well, thank you so much,
Thanks, Brad. Yeah, mate. Just a quick question. Like this series, Split 2, has been really hotly contested over last season, and it's shaping up to be a really tough series again this series. Were you expecting to have any closer competition? I probably would have thought. I was quite surprised to see you the only one in the 21s in qualifying, and I thought But it was, I was expecting a little bit more pressure there. But I mean, absolutely well done to do what you've done. But we were expecting a little bit more pressure from the pack.
I actually didn't think my qualifier lap was good enough, to be honest. I put out my lap and I watched it. Yeah, I was P1, but I actually thought one of them guys was going to knock me off, because all them guys up in that top 10, any one of them could have knocked my time off. So,
it might have been a case of
the competition.
It might have been a
Split
case.
2
Sorry, mate.
the competition in Split 2, it's pretty crazy. All the guys there, anyone can win it in that top 10. Let's put it that way.
Well, maybe it was a case of like we're talking to Cesar before. There's that balance between attacking too much and not attacking hard enough, and especially in qualifying, maybe there were some faster guys that just didn't quite squeeze the right amount of juice out of their qualifying laps.
Yeah, well, it's very, very hard to take that last corner without grabbing that little bit of dirt. Now, there was extra time there, but do you want to risk blowing the whole lap and going back to P20, P30, or finish your lap and just settle with something in the top 10? So, tough track. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It was, very challenging sort of track, with the balance of the car and managing your throttle and your basically your wheel spin. So awesome.
Well, Brad, it was a top level performance to take home your very first V8 Veterans race win in your first season here in Split 2. Of course, you've been in Split 1 previously, so now you get a proving ground season to get yourself back up there. Just so you understand the statistics, those who have won races in the last 2 seasons, barring two drivers who didn't make every race of the season, they finished inside of the top 5 by season's end. So you're setting yourself up well for a return up to Split 1 for next season if you can continue these sorts of performances. But let us know, though. Helps get you out on track. Anyone you want to give a shout-out to, for myself and Brett and the rest of the league, congratulations on your race win here tonight out at Road Atlanta. And hopefully you can continue this run and try and make it a two race win season to really put yourself in proper contention.
That would be good. Long Beach, here we come. Got a shout-out to Racecraft. That's our main sponsor. Got some awesome rigs and equipment. We support Breast Cancer Foundation as well. So that's on the roof of the car, and basically the V8 Vets for you guys making all this happen, and taking your time out of the day to do the broadcast and everything. You do a fantastic job, and the commentary's awesome in Split 2 and Split 1 and all the splits, and awesome job, guys.
I'm going to take that as a badge of pride that you mentioned Split 2 before Split 1 on that one there, Brad. So
yeah. Still great. Great job, fellas.
No worries. Thank you so much, Brad. Best of luck next week at Long Beach. We look forward to seeing what you can do.
No worries. Sweet as. Thank you.
See, Brad knows where it's at. Subliminal messages there, Brett. Subliminal messages.
Just problem. Yeah.
Well, there is one more thing we have to announce tonight, and that is the winner of the Driver of the Day award. But I have to decide, Brett, are we going to include your vote that you put into the chat or not?
I don't know.
Because if we do, we get a definitive. If we do, we get a definitive winner. If we don't, we have a tie.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, am I allowed to vote or am I not allowed to vote? That's the thing. That's the question.
Or is it? I'll let you vote, and you can vote all season. I'll let you vote, and you can vote all season. How about that?
All right, cool.
It's not just a one-off. Now, you know what that means, though, Brett? You have to vote every week now. You can't just be
that's right. I'll do that.
That's fine. Very good.
I'll do that.
All right. It's like a coach's vote. It's a commentator's vote.
Yeah, commentator's vote.
Yeah. Right.
Instead of commentator's curse.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Fair enough. Okay, well, for our Driver of the Day award here this evening, brought to you by Chubby, Buns, Burgers, this going the way of the privateer, Simon Haynes here this evening, who got his way inside of the top 10 in the end after a fantastic effort from him. A great return to form tonight for Simon, And, well, yeah, just a solid performance on the road. Hopefully one that can now crescendo him further forward throughout the season. And I'm sure there's other drivers who were nominated. They'll get another chance to win it at some point this season, I'm sure. For Simon, this is now just a good little tip of the cap as a solid way for him to start his charge towards season's end.
I reckon he's a driver to watch.
I
reckon he's a driver to watch looking forward. I think he's, he's just finding his feet and he's moving forward, and I think he's going to be a great contender.
I agree with you. I think he's going to be a hell of a contender throughout this season. That will bring an end, though, to tonight's race here at Road Atlanta. The next time we'll be on your screens for V8 Veterans action will be next week out at the Californian concrete jungle of Long Beach, my favourite street circuit on the iRacing calendar. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. 200 Ks, I think it is. Let me double check. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, 200 Ks around Long Beach. It's going to be a tough night on the road for these drivers to return to the 2 CPS rule. It's a long, slow pit lane, so consistency is going to have to be key. Keeping it out of pit road is going to be crucial for them when they go racing out there. Massive thank you, though, to all of our series sponsors, including our title sponsors, Racecraft Simulations, as well as Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Player One Singy, Nova Simsports, Südspeed Gloves, LGC Images, and Chubby Buns Burgers with the Driver of the Day award tonight. It went the way of Simon Haynes. Next week, it could go to you. But next time, you'll see us on your screens, I said, is at Long Beach. Thursday night with the Simspeed crew for Split 1. Friday night right here on the V8 Vets channel for the Split 4 action. And then Saturday night, you get the double header of Split 3 and Split 2 back to back for concrete jungle chaos on the streets of California. If you're watching over the Infinity Broadcasting channel, the next time we'll be on your screens will be Monday night. Myself and Brett O'Brien in the booth for the VRS Virtual Racing School Porsche Cup Series by way of the IRWC as they go racing out for sprint round action at Winton Motor Raceway. So that should be a hotly contested night of racing as Job Stewart continues his run forward to try and claim the lead of the championship before the halfway point of the season. If you are watching on the Infinity Broadcasting channel, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. The bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing on there, whether it's with V8 Veterans action right here, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Saturday nights, or any of the iRacing World Challenge action on Monday and Friday nights as well. And if you're watching on the V8 Veterans channel, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified whenever we go racing with the Split 4, Split 3, and Split 2 action. And if you want to go check out the Split 1 action, be sure to go support SimSpeed TV, like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to their channel. They've got a plethora of sim racing action from all over the world, not just in Australia, going live on their channel. But a big thank you to Brett Fisher for joining me once again. I've been Hamish Munro. This has been the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Season 24, Split 2 action of Round 2 at Road Atlanta. See you guys next week at Long Beach. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Can't wait to hear those engines roar. Hot days and summer nights, finish line in the sights. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be sparks flying, rubber burning, doors banging, tempers rising. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be hot days and summer nights, finish line in the sights. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. There'll be sparks flying, rubber burning, doors banging, tempers rising. Can't wait to hear those engines roar. They're gonna roll. Ooh, they're gonna roll.
The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. But very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In this sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's just say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Rackraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racecraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racecraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.